Hi everyone, Cindy Santa Ana here, integrative nutritionist for the Amen Clinics and your Wellness Wednesday host. Today I want to talk to you all about gluten-free baking. So these are some of my gluten-free flours that I have in my home, and I want to show you how I use them. The one thing that's really great to have is a good all-purpose gluten-free flour. So it's a blend. It's going to have some brown rice flour, maybe some sorghum. It might have some arrowroot starch as a binder. So this one is Namaste brand. There's also Pamela's and Bob's Red Mill makes a good gluten-free blend. And these are great to use if you have a favorite recipe that uses all-purpose flour. You can use this blend 1-to-1. So if it calls for 2 cups of regular flour, you can use 2 cups of an all-purpose blend. So that's good to have for, say, your all-purpose gluten-free baking needs. Then I love to use almond flour a lot too. So I have a great cookie recipe that I use that we made over the weekend with my kids. So almond flour is great for a lot of baking needs, but it's not good for like cakes or something that needs to rise. I store mine in the refrigerator because it can go bad quicker. This one is actually blanched, so the skin of the almonds was removed, and this is blanched almond flour. If you see almond meal, that's just going to be the whole almond ground up. The next is brown rice flour. This is another good general gluten-free flour to keep on hand. I like it for baking. I use it sort of like 1 cup of brown rice flour with maybe a cup of sorghum flour, which is nice and sweet. So I like to make my own blend sometimes. So both of these are good alternatives as well. And then we have white rice flour that I don't use as much because it can spike blood sugar, but I love to sprinkle some on my board when I'm rolling out my dough to keep it from sticking, or I might use it with a blend, say a little bit of brown rice, white rice, and maybe some sorghum flour. Then we have coconut flour. Coconut flour you'll see in a lot of recipes that maybe uses a 1/4 cup or a 1/3 cup and then a boatload of eggs. It's because it's very dry. It's very light, but it absorbs a lot of liquid. It's also a really good gluten-free flour. I keep mine in the freezer to keep it fresher longer. Then when you're baking gluten-free, you need some sort of binder because you don't have that glue of the gluten. So I use arrowroot starch, or you can also use tapioca flour or tapioca starch. These are good binders to hold things together. I just store mine in my refrigerator just to keep it fresher. Then we have a grain-free option. Almond flour is grain-free as well, but cassava flour is really great. It is gluten-free, grain-free, and nut-free. So if you're trying to avoid nuts or if you have a nut allergy, this could be a go-to option for you. I have a great tortilla recipe that I make with cassava flour, and there's also cookie recipes that you can make too. So that's about it for my gluten-free flours. Now, if you're going to be making some sugar cookies, say this holiday, I use the Namaste blend, but if you're going to be coloring, I like to use India Tree natural food coloring because it doesn't have all of those yucky dyes. So this is a good alternative. It's called India Tree, and it's made from vegetable colorants. So that's a good option. So happy baking, keep it in moderation this holiday season, and then stay tuned for next week when I talk about natural sweeteners and other sweeteners and what you can use in your gluten-free baking. Take care.